Alright, what's going on everybody? Anime Rainbow back with another episode. Today we'll be discussing Boruto chapter 71. What is going on? Well, code is trash. That's what's going on. Let's just get that out the way. Chapter was decent, but I mean, if you've seen my last videos about Boruto, shit is just happening. This by far had to be the worst debut of power I have ever seen in the Naruto franchise. Cause like, my god, how much did we hype up Code getting his limiters off? How much did we hype that shit up? He got washed by Damon, alright? And before you start saying shit, you have to think. Code with his limiters removed, somebody who is stronger than Jigen, the person who was asked to defend the Ten Tails against Sasuke in a one-on-one combat without his limiter being removed, that's the important part, is getting ran through by this kid. And I'm supposed to take him seriously moving forward, and in other combat situations, no. And then you have the situation of Damon's ability just being told to us, just being yelled at us, right? There was no finding it out through combat, through trial. It was bugged just as like, his hands. Watch out for his hands, Code. I'm like, is this really how we find out his ability? You just yelling it out to this man, right? Like, you can't be serious right now. So now Code knows about Damon's ability. Shikamaru tells Naruto, Sasuke, and Boruto about Ida's ability. They don't know about Damon, but they know that there is at least one other cyborg that is there that they need to be watching out for. But this just goes back to what I said earlier in previous Boruto videos. I'm gonna try my hardest to find it and put it in the description below so y'all know I'm not fucking with y'all. Damon could legitimately one-shot everybody in the Leaf Village, because if you don't know his ability, you cannot defeat him, and it's so quick and instantaneous, it's ridiculous. Like, it happened in this chapter actually. I can't remember what page it was. It was fucking page 7. I mean, Code barely gets his arm up and Damon is already reflecting that damage back at him. When Damon was first introduced, it was headshots to everybody who was in the factory. So yes, he could easily one-shot Naruto, easily one-shot Sasuke, Boruto, Kawaki, it doesn't matter. They don't know his ability. And Amato is such a bitch, he doesn't tell anybody about these abilities beforehand, even if he was under the assumption that they were destroyed. The minute you saw Ida appear in the Leaf Village, oh my god, it's Ida. Shikamaru, her eyes can see it all. But just in case any other cyborg that I thought was destroyed pops back up, there's another cyborg named Damon that can reflect any ability with his palms. Just so you know. Right, I don't know how many of my androids are still around because I thought they were all scrap, but they're not. These are all of the abilities that every android has at their disposal. He doesn't do any of that. So now you have Damon have the ability to one-shot everybody. Ida has the ability to see everything. And Bug was just privy to all of this information. So at the very end of the chapter, you have Code and Bug escape after having their asses whooped by Ida and Damon. Again, just a horrible display of power. Imagine if Madara, after all of that hype, all of that build-up, him being compared to the first Hokage, the only person who could compete with the first Hokage, him potentially being the second Hokage, all of this shit that you have going on, him able to tame the Nine Tails. Imagine if he finally got reanimated at the end of the fucking Naruto Shippuden series, and he just got his ass beat. The minute he runs up on the Joint Shinobi Force Alliance, thrashed, waxed, sealed away immediately. All of that hype, all of that build-up, all of that anticipation that you just prepared for us just comes crashing back to the ground because he's trash. And that's the feeling I get with Code. Now, granted, it seems by the end of this chapter, Code is going to be the one that destroys the Leaf Village that we saw with Kawaki and Boruto facing off on top of the Hokage Mountain. It seems to be the case. It's possible Kawaki is still going to go crazy, and Amato may have done something to him along with putting the karma back inside of his body. Maybe some, activation codes that he is so privy to do for his androids. He might have done that with Kawaki because he's essentially a fucking a robot at this point. All I know is that this is a series about bad decision making, and we are seeing it in full effect. Amato's angle is still unknown because at this point, all of his dialogue was centered around him just staying alive. Whether that was him staying alive from being killed by Code, or whether that's him staying in Konoha's good grace, everything he has done, everything he has said this chapter was for that moment. Him putting that extra little emergency incentive inside of Kawaki's karma mark inside of his arm was just in case Konoha tried to turn against him and turn him into Code, or just, kick him out of the village. What he is doing now with Ida was to save him from Code. He is a very selfish man, and so his angle is constantly changing because you never can actually get a grip on it. The only thing that we know specifically from this chapter and chapters previous is that Kawaki is so pivotal to what Amato has to do. He has to keep him alive at all point. Last chapter you saw him defend Kawaki against Shikamaru in its entirety. He completely was against using Kawaki to fight against Code and Ida in that moment. So he's very protective of him, at least a small degree, and to a degree that he can't allow other people to know how much Kawaki actually matters to him, which does give some familiar ties to Amato and Kawaki, one that Kawaki is just unaware of. So Amato's whole angle this chapter was just to get Ida to accept Shikamaru's proposal, and they're going to travel back to the Leaf Village. Now, is this where the Leaf Village gets destroyed? I don't know. The way the end of this chapter set up, it seems the Code is going to be the one to destroy the Leaf Village. He just got his ass beat by Damon, and if Damon and Ida both agree to travel to the Leaf Village, accept Shikamaru's proposal, and live inside of the Leaf Village, we just saw Damon beat Unleashed Code's ass. How is he going to be the one to destroy the village? Damon can handle him one-on-one. We just saw it. And Damon didn't have a limiter put on his body, so Code's not really stacking up to be the best option out of the android lineup that Ishiki and Amato had at their disposal. Why did you keep him around? Probably because he was the weakest. Wasn't it said that Ishiki got all the strong ones dismantled and destroyed? Right? Ida was supposed to be destroyed, but she wasn't. Damon was supposed to be destroyed, but he wasn't. They were supposed to be destroyed because they're that fucking powerful. So to have Code suddenly be the main antagonist, but he's essentially probably the weakest, maybe right underneath, probably right above Boro, but he's under Ida and he's under Damon. So if Damon and Ida both go to the Leaf Village, there's no way Code could be the one to destroy it. Unless he gets more powerful, but then again, that just gives more credence to what I have been talking about the series, about how it is just a series of just power-ups, just blatant, uninteresting, unhinged power-ups. So I don't know what's going to go down in the next chapter. Shit is just happening. Naruto, Shikamaru, and Sasuke are aware of Ida. They're a little bit aware of Damon, but again, they don't know his ability, so we're just going to see where this rabbit hole takes us. I have rambled on long enough. Code is mad as hell. He has added everybody in the Leaf Village to his hit list. Can he do it? Yeah. Will he make a big enough impact? Sure. But do I see him being the one that destroyed the Leaf Village like we saw in episode 1 of the anime? Not if Damon and Ida are there. Not if Kawaki is there. I mean, this is, again, Kishimoto just tells you everything he wants you to know. He doesn't want anything to be ambiguous this series. He said, yeah, he has came out of his mouth and just dialogue bubbles and said, yeah, Kawaki's stronger than Code. He's came out of his mouth and said, nobody at the Leaf Village can challenge Code. You know, like he just comes out and says these random things. Kawaki is stronger than Code. Code is stronger than Jigen. Kawaki is stronger than Ishiki. He didn't say Kawaki is stronger than Ishiki. Regardless, you're just told all of these things and no one can oppose Kawaki in the Leaf Village. You're like, okay, so what the fuck are y'all doing? Naruto's hanging around the Leaf Village. He should be out there training and learning a new sage technique. Sasuke should be getting an arm back, an eye back. He needs to be a whole fuck. He's 7/8 of the person he was in Naruto Shippuden. Okay, 7/8. Lost an arm, lost an eye. Doesn't want to get lost his sword. But he's still gonna go into battle. He's still gonna go into battle. No arm, no eye. He's no depth perception on the left side of his body. But yeah, he still wants to fight at full fucking power. Sakura, terrible medical shinobi. Just go and give him an arm in his sleep. Never mind. He's never home. You can't do that shit. Anyway, I rambled on long enough. Subscribe if you're brand new. I'll keep the content coming frequent as humanly possible. I butchered that. I will keep the content coming frequently as infrequent as humanly possible. And I'm out.